Hello, Anita, ¿cómo estás?
Hola Iris,
Hola,
happy
hola.
Monday.
Ya say happy Monday. Everybody's ready for After Hours Real Estate. We're here with Ana Cabrales, Cabrales Mortgage, to answer all of your lending questions and real estate questions related. And I am Iris Heredia with Homes by Iris and Momentum Realty. So we have two specific questions from our viewers or our clients, friends, that we're going to answer today. So one of them is going to be a question related to child support, and the other one as a buyer, and the other one is going to be tips on how to buy a home in 2022.
Good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, Anita, so how was your weekend? Everything well?
Yes, my weekend was excellent. I had a lot of resting time, a lot of time with my mom and my dog and my husband. So I'm very thankful for the weekend. I started reading the book that you recommended on
Did you
Facebook.
like it?
Yeah, I just started, so I'm in the beginning
We need
stages. But
to discuss it, okay? So
yes.
I told my teenager you need to read it as well. So supposedly he's reading it.
Mhm.
Let's give it the benefit of the doubt.
The book is called Flip the Switch.
Uh-huh.
I mentioned it to my sister, and she said, as soon as you finish, lend it to me. She wants to read it
Yes,
too.
by
Uh,
Kevin Clayson.
mhm.
He's wonderful. So flip the switch of gratitude, which is something that we should do every day. You know how we always say, count your blessings. Yes, but it's a little bit more. I mean, what I learned, right, with the book, like you're supposed to read the book several times. I think I'm going to continue. I read it again.
Mhm.
But I mean, what you learn is that gratitude is not just, it's an action. It's just not a
Mhm.
word to say, oh, I'm thankful today, right? I
Mhm.
mean, no,
Mhm.
it's actually feeling it and
Mhm.
finding the good on the every challenges that we have it, I mean, every single day,
Mhm.
right? I mean, so we'll discuss the book later on because we have our real estate questions ready to go. So
Mhm.
today we're going to be talking about this topic. So Anita, tell
Okay.
me how, I mean, anything that you know about child support and buying a property in 2022.
Yes. So, for example, let's say that I'm a buyer and I'm paying child support. The child support is going to be taken into consideration as a debt. Basically, like if you had a vehicle,
Mhm.
whatever you pay on child support monthly, we're going to include it in your debt to income calculation, and make sure you just qualify with it.
Yes.
There's people that have liens for child support. That means that they stopped paying child support, they went into collection, and is reporting on the credit report as a collection. In order, you can still get a loan, even though it's showing in collection, but we have to provide proof that you're making payment, that you have gotten into an agreement and you're catching up in your arrears. So we
Yes.
can still do the loan. If you're receiving child support, if I'm a buyer and I get child support from an ex-spouse, for example, we can use the child support if it's court order. If we have proof that you've received it for at least 3 months, so we're going to ask you for 3 bank statements showing that you're receiving the child support. Um, we also have to make sure that the children are 14 years of age or less or younger, because the child support, in order for us to use it, needs to continue in the next 3 years. Most child support ends when the child reaches 18 years old. So that's why usually when it's 14, sometimes 15, that we can use it. If it's not court order, let's say that you were never married, you had a baby together, and you ended in good terms with the parent of the kid, and you both agree on a payment on $200 a month, then as long as you have that agreement in writing, let's say that you went with a notary and you documented it, and then you have proof that the person has been paying you for 12 months, even though it's not court order, then we can use it also.
Okay, so you would use it as a debt.
Income.
Oh,
No,
as an
as
income.
an income. So let's say I'm a girl, I'm a lady, and I'm getting income from the father of my child. And let's say I'm a teacher. I
Yeah.
can use my salary as a teacher, and I can use the child support.
Oh, okay. So there's an extra income.
Extra income.
If
So
you are receiving child support, you can consider it as like a part-time job. Of course, it's not a job, but I mean,
yeah,
as extra income.
yeah,
Okay, and it can help you to qualify for a property. Okay, that is
correct.
good to know, right?
So usually we don't ask people, "Are you getting child support?" it's not in the application for us to ask. We do ask if they're paying child support, but not if they're getting. So a
Okay.
lot of times when I'm talking to the customers, I say, what type of income are we going to use? Income from a job, employment, a business, disability, child support income. And so I tell them that if you get child support, if you want, we can use it, but we're not obligated. Because if not, I'll have to ask them more for more documents. But I leave it open in case they do want it. They can supply me the information and then we can use it.
Okay. Okay, so now I had a client who called me, right? And he had several questions about that. So she's planning to buy a property, okay, like an investment property. They already have a house. So, but the husband is the primary, right? I mean, the one with the income. She does work, but I mean, it's not enough to buy a property or to qualify for a loan. So she asked me, is it possible for my husband to get the loan, right? Buy the property? And will this affect the child support that he's already paying to the ex-wife, right? I mean, she's a little concerned that if he acquires this property and the ex-wife finds out, they're gonna increase, I guess, what he's paying, or maybe requiring more from him, right? So I don't want him to have anything, I mean, any more, I guess, income or any more properties that could become, a fight, right? I mean, like, pay me more. Uh, then I said, okay. And then she's planning on doing this. If it is possible, right, that he can buy the home, then she asked me, how long would it take for him to gift this property to me, right? And he will continue making the payment of the home, but under title, it will be under the wife's name only. I mean, if there's like I don't know how many time he has to wait, months, I don't know, years. I mean, what is the rule? So
So,
what do you know
so
about?
I don't know about like the child support rules. I guess maybe they should consult child support. But when I look at the court orders for child support, usually it asks like what income they're receiving. So I think it's more related to the income than to the properties. Now, if they're buying this property as an investment, maybe they're gonna have to report some type of profit on rents, and maybe that's how it's gonna affect them.
That will increase what he makes.
That would increase what he makes. And so then if the ex-spouse or the ex lady asks for a revision of the child support, then I guess at that point the attorney general will ask for tax returns, and then in that case that extra property will show up as a business, I guess, as a rental income. So
Correct.
that's how it may affect them. Again, I'm not an expert on child support, so maybe that's something that you should ask the attorney general or the office of child support. I know there's one here in McAllen on Jackson. Maybe she can call and ask.
Yes.
But again, on the court order, it usually just says income from, and then it lists their employment.
Okay. Okay. So then the core order for our viewers that are interested in the topic of child support not affecting you, right, when you buy a property. So usually you only pay based on the income of your employment. O sea,
Yeah.
what you are making or earning now.
Mhm.
But in order for you to have more information to make an educated what is it, a decision, I mean, it will be a good idea for you to call
Like
McAllen,
the attorney general, yeah.
Attorney General and McAllen, that way they can give you more specifics on that. But as far as we know, right, it should be only on the income that he receives, not on the properties, on the investments that he's making. Now, that's, I mean, the answer for one of the questions. The second question will be, how long would it take? I mean, as per the lending side, right? For, let's say he wants to give this to her. Uh, can it be done immediately, like after a month of closing?
Not that I know of, because there's going to be a lien associated with the house. So technically, he's still not the owner 100% because he still owes it. He should be able to gift it to her after he's done paying the mortgage. Now, once in a while, I will see when I'm looking at a property, I will see that the property was transferred from one owner to another in the court records. But it's usually done through like an attorney or like a paralegal. So it's not done through a title company, because if you go through the title company, when you do the gift, the company is gonna say, okay, where's the payoff? Well, let's
Yes,
pay off the mortgage.
require that is not owed.
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess if they don't do that, I guess if they do a paralegal, the court is not gonna care. The court is going to record your document, but the mortgage can basically come and say, "Wait, why are you gifting it? You still owe it to me."
Okay.
You
Okay.
technically cannot gift it until you're done paying the mortgage,
You're the owner of the property.
until you're the owner of the property. Yes.
Okay, okay, for our viewers interested in the topic, then I mean the answer will be you have to finish paying that mortgage under your name in order to gift it to anyone. I mean, to it can be your wife, it can be your daughter. I mean, that way you don't have it under your name. You first have to become owner of this property. You cannot still be paying on this loan.
Yes,
Okay.
I do see life estates. Life estates are deeds that you do. Let's say that I am a mother and I have a child and I'm paying my mortgage. I do see sometimes that I'll gift my property, my house to my child, but it's a life estate. So it usually says after I pass away, then my house belongs to my child. I have the legal right and full ownership of the house while I'm alive, but once I pass, then it goes to my child. And I guess that's a good thing to do, because that way it ensures that nobody fights your kid for the house, that the house is just yours or is just to your wife and your kids. That way nobody else can come and fight them for the house.
I see.
So maybe that's something that can be done. He can buy the house. Maybe they can buy it together so they're both on title. Or if he's buying by himself, maybe he can do a life estate so that when he passes, that house goes to her and her child.
Exactly.
Maybe.
That would be something that they can do to do it as a live state. Okay, so you're listening. I mean, to the answers. Live state will be another option, right, for you to do and protect this property. That will be under. I mean, obviously, the live state will say once I pass, the owner of this property will be my daughters or my wife or wife and daughters, right? I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
you can pull multiple people. Correct.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So anything else in child support, Anita? Any cases that you've dealt with, with, any other tips for child support?
Child support, we don't find out if a person is paying child support, because most it doesn't come up on credit. The only time it comes up on credit is if
They're
if
behind.
it went into collection. But
Yeah.
if you have been paying on time, then it's not on your credit report.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes your pay stubs will say child support payment. So that's another way that we find out if a person is paying child support, because the pay stub
Mhm.
has it. But there's no other system where we can log in and check if a person paying child support. So technically, those are the only two ways that, and of course, we ask the customer, but those are usually the two ways that we find out when somebody's paying child support. If you're receiving child support, sometimes we find out that you're receiving because we'll get your bank statement and it'll say like child support deposit or attorney general or AG. And then we'll see, oh, she's getting child support. Let's ask her if she wants to use it. And then we get the documentation. So usually bank accounts or pay stubs will give us some indication if there's child support involved.
Okay, okay, so that's good to know. Okay, so then you have any other questions related to the topic on child support and buying a property this 2022? Please let us know. Okay, if we didn't answer, I mean, what, or you have another question, I mean, beside what we answered today, please send us a message or send us a DM, whatever it is easier for you, or give us a call. That we can give you a little more information on something specific towards your case.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is we already answered the question. And if you have any questions, you're listening to this and the question is related to something else, please let us know. I mean, the same way, just get in contact with us, send us a message, either to Anna or to me. Now, the next question that we had originally planned was steps or tips for first-time buyers in 2022 because of the market that we have. So,
Yes.
what have you been seeing right now with first time? What have they been telling you when they called you?
I still get buyers that say, I want to see the house first before I apply.
Yes.
And I still don't understand. And I tell them the market's so competitive. By the time you go and look at it and come back and apply, the house is gone. I'm like, start the conversation. It's not, if you get a scenario going with us and something happens, there's no big deal. Like, it's not like you're gonna be branded that you didn't buy, or
No.
you got denied, you cannot buy in the next 10 years. Nothing like that. It's just so that we tell the seller that you are a serious buyer and you have done your work and you have put a pre-approval together, and you're serious. You've done your work, your homework, and you're ready to go. I got a call on Sunday, and it was like Sunday 7 p.m. and they're like, "Can I apply right now? Because I want to submit an offer right now." And like, "I'm sorry, I'm not at home.
Ah,
Here's my link. Go ahead." I try not to work on Sundays because we try to dedicate that time to family. We work really hard during the week, and sometimes you do need some boundaries.
of course. We
And
also. Uh-huh.
yeah, so it's like, okay, like I'll make an exception. If you go ahead and apply online, by the time I go home, maybe I'll have the application in my inbox. So go ahead and submit it. I'm like, I'll work on it tonight. And of course, the customer didn't do it. So they were not that serious, like they said that they were, to get a pre approval.
But
Um,
was this a requirement from the seller or the real?
yes, the
Uh,
realtor. The realtor wanted the pre-approval. The realtor wanted the pre-approval and said, before you go in and look, this, I think the house had 8 offers already.
so I mean, then there's no point if you're not see. I mean, and I understand, right, that you're gonna say, "Well, I want to see it first," because everybody tells me the same thing, right? I mean, I want to see it first. How do I know if I'm gonna like it? Now,
Yeah.
understand. I mean, if you are serious in the market to buy a home, regardless if it is that house or another house, you still need to be pre-approved. Why? Because exactly how Anna just said, I mean, you become serious, people take you seriously. I mean, especially realtors or other, I mean, especially the seller, forget the realtor, the seller. Okay, so then is the most important step is to get pre-approved, and like we've told you, no one is going to force you. It gives you purchasing power, which means you can view the homes that you can whatever, because now you are an able buyer, right? With the money, you have the money. So no one is going to deny you to be a home, and no one is going to force you to buy the home that you don't want to buy.
Yeah.
So you
And it's good for 4 months. So if you, well, I don't know if every lender is the same, but for us, it's good for 4 months. So if you get a pre-approval, it's good for 4 months. So it's not specific, like you said, to this specific house. It can be to any house. I'm licensed in the state of Texas. Any house in the state of Texas, as long as it's in a good condition.
correct.
So, but at least now you know what you qualify for, how much money you need,
Yes.
and then you can go. If you're not getting financing, then they usually ask you for a bank statement, proof of
Proof
cash,
of
or what do they call it?
of
Proof of-
funds. If you're gonna make a purchasing in cash, right? A lot of people tell me, "Well, I don't need an pre-approval." Okay, then in order for you to present an offer, let's say we can take you, right? You can send us a screenshot of your bank account. That will be okay. We can send that to the seller. But in order for you to present an offer, right? Well, another thing is very important to talk, because I was talking to some people right now about that. Is the money has to be here. Okay, make sure the money is in the United States, because we have a lot of people that tell me we do have the money, but it is in Mexico, and I want to go see a house right now, right? Or whatever amount of money. I mean, an expensive home. Y le digo, especially houses that are so expensive, like in the million and above. Le digo, usually the seller wants to sell. He's flexible, but at the same time, we have a COVID issue going on that is still, it came to stay. Okay, so that's one. So then he's not going to open the doors for someone that cannot prove the money, that he has the money to see a house 1 million or more, right? So basically, it's just for you to show that you have purchasing power, you're serious, right? And you can buy a house like that. Because if not, there's no point to open the door for you, right? And take you as per the seller thinking. And please understand, it's not a realtor that doesn't want to take you, or that we don't want to take the time. It's really that we're being stopped by the seller and the realtor. The seller has another realtor. So basically, what they're saying is, show us that your client is serious, right? Is he pre-approved? And if we can approve that, they're gonna deny the appointment, right? I mean, so make sure that you're qualified, and that's good to know, Anna, that you Cabrales Mortgage gives a letter that it lasts 4 months, because usually it is only 3 months. Right? I mean, any other lender is only every 3 months. They have to update it. So at least give them 1 more month to go. And
Yeah.
remember, I mean, dear buyers, no one is gonna force you, because they all think I have a compromise with Anna now. If I do that now, for sure I'm gonna have to. Legal, obviously, we're expecting for you to give us, right? You feel comfortable and everything is well for you to give us, the first choice, right? Because we already pre-approve you or we already show you homes.
Mhm.
But the idea is that if you haven't found a home that you like, don't feel that Anna or me is gonna call you, right, to tell you now you buy because we give you this letter. Obviously, you can take your time until you feel comfortable on buying the home that you really like. And do you feel comfortable? Right?
Yes.
We have a question right here. What is it? I'm a licensed air conditioner contractor and I also into construction. Are there any construction loans for ITIN holders? This is
So does he want to build? Because he says I guess he has two jobs, air conditioning and he builds.
construction, yes.
So I guess part of the question is, do you have loans for ITIN holders? We do. They're broker loans. What that means is that our underwriters don't approve them. We send them to the final investor who will approve them. Typically, for those loans, they're 200,000 and higher. You will get a higher interest rate with an ITIN number than with a social security number. It's just part of the game. I don't make the rules. I don't make the interest rate. It is what it is. Closing costs are also a little bit higher, but at least you can get into a home and it's yours. You're not paying rent. You're building equity. In the future, if your immigration status changes, you could always refinance to a regular loan. So yes, we do have loans for ITIN holders.
And I think Anna, when he says I'm into construction, I think he wants to build a house to sell. I don't think it is for him. So it will work the same way, right? The
Well, but I don't know if I would recommend that because you're
same.
gonna spend, let's say, $7,000-8,000 in closing cost
Mhm,
to build just to turn around and sell it. I don't know
mhm,
if you would make money that way. Maybe in that case, if you're interested in becoming a contractor to
mhm.
build, maybe it would be a good idea to get approved through a local bank that lends for construction loans, because those construction loans, they give them to you for a year with the knowledge that you're going to turn around and sell it and flip it.
Okay, so okay, it says correct for customers that would like to build. Okay, so then the question was to build the house for him to sell for a client.
So the ITIN loans that we have are for purchase. So basically, it would have to be that the customers that have the ITIN buy the house. Basically, Luis San Juan would have to build and
Mhm.
sell it to the ITIN holder, and then they can buy it as a purchase.
I see. And if not, the other tip that Anna gave you, very good, valuable tip, is go with a local bank that will lend you the money, right? And you will have a year to repay that loan, correct?
Mhm. So when a customer wants to do construction loans, for example, I partner with different local banks for the construction loans, and
Okay.
basically they do the construction for 12 months, and we're in communication. How's it going? And how, what was your appraisal? What's my appraisal? What did you get on this income? What did you get on that? So we're like a team. And then once the house is finished, I pay the bank what it's owed, and then that's when the customer has the mortgage with me. For
Mhm,
builders that want to become have a line of credit with those banks, typically the bank runs their credit and ask them for 2 years tax returns,
mhm.
and they usually ask for 2 to 3 references from like McCoy's, Home Depot, somewhere where they have a line of credit where it tells them that they're a builder, that they've been building.
I see.
So a builder can also get approved so that they can get a line of credit so they can build with their own loans, I guess.
Okay, I hope we answered your question, Luis. And if not, please let us know. We're still here. We still have another 5, 6 minutes in the air. So let us know, and good luck with your construction. Thank
Yes,
you for asking the question.
yes. So going back to the second question that you said about what are things that you can do as a first-time home buyer to buy a house in this year? The
Yes.
4 things that we're gonna ask for.
Awesome, thanks. We'd like to get an appointment to discuss options and processes for customers.
Yes.
Definitely, Luis. We'll send you a message through Messenger, or send us I'm going to put in the comments I'm going to put my number and Anna's number. Okay, that way you can send a little message for us. Okay. So,
So, while you do that, I'll keep talking.
keep
So the
talking.
four things that we look for buyers are identity, some type of identification. If you're a U.S. citizen, typically a driver license or ID or passport. If you are a resident, we ask for the residency card, both sides. If you are here on DACA, we use for the employment authorization card. If you are here on a work permit, we'll ask for the passport, the work permit. So one of those, identification. The other thing that we ask for is for employment. We want to make sure that the person has been employed for at least 2 years, that they're stable, that they're used to working, that they like working. So typically we will ask for 2 years. Unless you're a graduate, professional that just graduated, then instead of the 2 year history, we'll ask for college history.
Oh, okay. Pero college, like when you were working, or just because you were
No, because
studying?
you were a student. Because let's say that you were studying education to become a teacher, and you've been a teacher for 2 months. We
Okay.
can use your salary of 2 months with the school transcripts that you just graduated. So
Cool.
we don't have to wait 2 years for you to be a teacher.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is wonderful information. Did you hear that, fellow teachers or anyone, right?
Anybody, nurses, doctors, yeah,
Yes.
correct. So one will be ID, the other one will be the employment history with the salary or the hourly pay. Then we'll ask for bank statement. Where is the money coming for down payment and closing costs? Do you have it already in your bank? Are you gonna be saving? And if you're gonna save, how long it's gonna take you to save? Some people are already saying, I expect to get it in 15 days from my tax refund. Great. How much are you expecting? They send us a screenshot how much they're expecting. Some tell me, no, my father is gonna give me some money. My grandparents are gonna give me some money.
Mhm.
Okay, great. How much money can they give you? So we have to know how long. If you have the money, great. You can start shopping today. Or if you're gonna save money, it's gonna take you 4 months. If you want to buy a house in 2022, make sure you meet that criteria, that you're here in the United States legally, that you can work, that you
Mhm.
have some type of permit to work. Two, that you have the employment history in the income. And three, that you have the assets, the money for the down payment and the closing cost. And if you have those three, typically with good credit at least of 600 points, you can typically get pre-approved to buy a house.
And that is wonderful. And let me tell you, you have to do this as soon as possible. In that, if that is one of your resolutions, okay, to buy a home this 2022, because right now you will have an advantage because a lot of people are waiting. I mean, to get their income tax money, and we're still not in the strongest part of the market. So,
Mhm,
which means that houses are coming up. You have less competition. You're not competing with other buyers,
mhm.
and you can get a better deal, right? And close as soon as possible. So if that is the plan, act quickly. For example, I wanted to give you an example. We got a beautiful couple, which very proud of them, very young couple, okay, who just recently got married. And they were qualified and they made a decision to buy a home this year. So they wanted a new construction home. But what it was wonderful about them is how educated and prepared they were, because we don't see a lot of that. I mean, so then they were just graduated, I would say 3 years ago, because they've been married for 3 years. They already had their pre-approval letter and they knew what they wanted, right? The only thing we need to guide them is what is it that you're looking for, what it will fit your needs, because they haven't like actually thought about that. I just want a
Mhm.
house, but then once you start talking to them, right, they start telling you what their needs are. For example, my mom comes to visit, so it cannot be a two-story home because she cannot come up in the stairs, or it has to have 2 bedrooms downstairs. So we can help them, I mean, come to the right decision of what
Mhm.
are the must-haves into a home. So we develop a list, right? These are the must-haves, and this is what I'm okay with it. So I'm so happy because we were able to find them a home. It was a new construction home that it has the majority of the things they wanted, right?
That's
But
great.
the point of this is, as a first-time buyer, uh, it's very important for you to know what it is that you can afford. And the most important part, and now you tell me here, is how much are you going to pay monthly, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Correct.
Because, I mean, you can qualify for $500,000, but I mean, once Anna gives you the monthly, right? I mean, including the taxes and including the insurance,
Yeah.
you might say, this is too much for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And if you look at your monthly payment online, like a lot of people do it online,
then,
read the fine print. A lot of people tell me, wait, that payment is higher. Why is it higher? I did it on Quicken. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it together.
let's do
And I
it.
go and I'm like, it says 20% down, 800 credit score, whatever. I'm like, read the fine print.
Yes, they're not reading correctly. And we're seeing a lot of that with the online lenders, right? I mean,
Mhm.
because it is there, but you're not reading it.
It's a hook.
It's a hook. So you have to be careful with those two. Another thing that I wanted to mention, another tip for first time buyers is there's a lot of beautiful homes with a lot of potential out there in the market, right? You just have to be able to see a little bit through it because I mean, you see that it's missing paint, it's the old paint, right? Or you're seeing, I don't know what else I've seen that is not even the blinds are the old blinds or the old curtains, right? That we used to have in the past. I mean, really, if you only put a little bit of paint, I mean, fresh paint is not expensive in a property. That's the only thing that you will need to freshen up this home and to look completely different, right? So that's another thing that I've noticed that home buyers are looking at. So it is important for them to see like a before and after photo. And I know it's difficult for you to see it, but we've been doing this for a long time. So when we tell you this home is a good investment, right? It's going to continue, I mean, going up in value. The only thing it needs is fresh coat of paint. I mean, that will be the house of your dreams. Don't let it go. I
Yeah.
mean, don't
If
get
you have the location, the number of bedrooms
exactly.
in
And,
your budget.
and another tip is you're never, listen, buyers, we love you, okay? But you're never gonna find the perfect home unless you hire a builder, you bought the lot, right? And you build your own home. That's the only way it's gonna be perfect home. So if you feel comfortable, I will say between 80 to 90%, okay, that's the house for you.
Mhm.
Okay, because I know, like, let's talk about my buyers, right? I mean, we found in the list that we did, right? Everything was there except bathtubs. I don't know what's going on with the bathtubs now,
Yeah.
because one
They're
thing
getting rid of them.
exactly, no builders are doing bathtubs now. So we have that issue, and then we have new couples who are gonna have babies, or that's the idea to form a family. So they're thinking, where am I gonna bathe my child, right? I need a bathtub. Babies like bathtubs with a rubby duck, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And we are not finding those bathtubs. Builders out there, you're listening, please, at least one bathtub in the property.
Yeah.
Uh, I know, I mean, remember when no one wanted, I remember when no one wanted the bathtubs. Well,
Yes.
now
Things
for
come around.
exactly.
Wallpaper came back.
Also, another thing they tell me is I like to take salt bath because I get so stressed at work, right?
Mhm.
So that is something that we used to do. Now, there's a lot of relocation people from other, parts of the state where they use tubs constantly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then, at least one tab will be a good idea. If you're an investor, if you're
Yeah.
a builder,
A
please.
flipper.
A flipper? Exactly. I mean, try to include one.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we answered a lot of questions. I mean, about a first time buyer and child support. If you have any other topics, kind of like Mr. Luis right here that sent us an information, question about construction loan, please let us know. We're going to be here next Monday and we'll let you know what the topic is going to be about. And if we're not talking about that topic and something comes up, just send us the question and we'll try to answer it the best possible. And if not, we do research and we'll come back to you.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much
Luis.
for watching. And thank you, Anna, for being here in After Hours Real Estate. Talk to you soon.
Take
Bye,
care. Bye
everybody.
bye.